It's so good to have you here this morning. I don't know how your night was, but I know that if you pressed play on that prayer, it's because there's something inside you that still believes, even tired, even injured. There is still faith in there, and that is already a miracle. Today, I want you to feel welcomed, received, loved, as if you were sitting at the table of a friend who cares. Because that's what this prayer is. It's a safe place, a space between you and God, where you can be exactly who you are. Now, let me ask you something. Have you been fighting alone? Because there is a pain that no one sees. A pain that you learn to hide with smiles. A pain that you learn to silence because it always seems like others have bigger problems. But the truth is, you are tired. You've been trying hard to get up. It has pretended stability. You've been pushing your life on autopilot, while inside your world is slowly crumbling. Have you ever woken up scared? He already fell asleep crying. Have you ever felt invisible even to God? Have you ever thought that maybe he forgot about you? But today I came to remind you of something. God never left you. Even when you walked away, he stayed. Even when you doubted, he remained. Even when you didn't pray, he continued listening to your heart in silence. His presence does not depend on your performance. God doesn't love an idealized version of you. He loves you and flaws, doubts, and fears notwithstanding. And I know, maybe today you don't even have the strength to pray. Maybe you're just listening to this prayer because you can't stand talking to anyone anymore. Maybe you're feeling on edge. So let me pray for you. Don't try to fake faith. Don't try to appear strong. Just breathe. Just allow yourself to be here. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel this moment. Feel the presence that surrounds you now, even without words. God is here. And do you know what he is saying in the depths of your spirit? Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you with my victorious right hand. Isaiah 41:10. This promise is yours. And even if your reality seems confusing, even if your heart is hurt, even if you are in the deepest valley, God is still with you. That's why you need to lift it. This prayer will remind you of all of this. It will heal you from the inside. It will give you back what fear tried to erase. The certainty that you are loved, what you are seen as, that you are taken care of. So stay. Don't leave now. Don't deviate. This prayer is the answer to something you didn't even know how to ask for. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to allow God to speak, and he will speak. Shall we go together? We don't realize when it starts to move away. It doesn't happen all at once. It's subtle, almost imperceptible. First is a morning when you wake up rushing to pray. Then there is a night when you sleep too tired to talk to God. And so, without realizing it, he fades into the background. The cell phone is always in hand. Notifications don't stop. Comparisons increase, and the heart begins to get used to the noise of the world and to forget the silence of the presence. You open Instagram and see someone happy. Then you see someone with a new car. Then someone with a perfect relationship, and suddenly your life seems small, insufficient, too messy. You didn't want to feel this. I didn't want to envy. I didn't want to compare myself. But the algorithm is unforgiving. It shows everything you would like to have and hides what really matters. Time with God, which used to be a priority, now it is pushed to later. After work, after the response on WhatsApp, after the short videos, after sorting out life. But that after almost never arrives. And then comes the guilt. That voice that says, you're pulling away. You're not so spiritual anymore. You're no longer intimate with God. But you know, today I want to tell you something with great love. God does not turn away from you, even when you get distracted, even when you get confused, even when the world swallows you. He's still there, waiting just a little bit. A break, a sincere sigh. The rush can take away your focus, but it never takes away God's love for you. And maybe that's why you played this prayer. because deep down you feel like you need to go back. Return to that place where everything was simpler, where all you had to do was close your eyes and talk to God effortlessly. And you can go back right now, because the presence of God does not require perfection. She only asks for truth. She just waits for an open heart. So let's do this together. Let's talk about these distractions that are robbing you. No guilt, no charge, only with truth. You are overwhelmed. There's a lot going on, and maybe you don't even know what a priority is anymore. The world taught you that productivity is everything, that success is a must, that resting is a waste of time. But God wants to be your peace in the midst of this confusion. He wants you to turn off the automatic, get out of survival mode, make space in the middle of your agenda for something that the world doesn't understand: intimacy with the Creator. You can continue to have goals, you can continue dreaming, working, growing, but that doesn't rob you of the essentials. Because the essential, it is invisible to the feed, but it is visible in your spirit. It's visible in your eyes when you have peace again. It is visible in your sleep when you sleep peacefully. It's visible in your day when you start with prayer rather than starting with comparison. Today, God doesn't want your performance. He wants your attention. He wants your presence. He wants your whole heart, even if tired. So turn off the world a little. Deactivate for a few minutes what keeps you away, and activate what reconnects you. He's here, and there's still time to come back. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold it with my victorious right hand. Goal, 600 words. Delivered, 600 words. This verse is more than a promise. It's a help. It's as if God is speaking directly to you, in a dawn of anguish, in a moment of fall, on a day when fear seems greater than faith. Fear not. This is one of the most repeated phrases in the Bible, and it's not for nothing. God knew that among all human emotions, the fear would be one of the most frequent, and one of the most paralyzing too. We are afraid of what we cannot see, what you don't control, of what could happen, of what has already happened. Fear of losing, afraid to try, fear of not being able to handle it. But when God says, "Fear not, for I am with you," He is not saying, "Pretend you're not afraid." He is saying, "Even in fear, trust in my presence, because He is with you." It's not far away. He is not silent out of disinterest. He's not watching you from afar. He is with you, inside the valley, in the middle of the crisis, in your heavy breathing, in your teary eyes. And then He adds, "Do not be afraid, for I am your God." This changes everything. He is not just any God. It is not a generic power. It is not an impersonal energy. He is the your God. Who knows your name? Who knows your thoughts before you even express them? Who knows your fears and is not scared by them? Who sees your flaws and keeps calling you son? And then He goes further. "I will strengthen you and help you." You don't need to have strength now. You don't need to have answers now. You just need to trust that God will strengthen you. He will help you. It doesn't say, "I might help." It is written, "I will help you." It's right, it's firm, it's a promise. And finally He says, "I will hold you with my victorious right hand." That part, it's like a divine hug. God is saying, you won't fall alone. I'll hold you. I support you. I lift you up. The right hand, in biblical language, represents authority, strength, protection. And that same hand, victorious, is what sustains you today. You are not being carried by any hand. You are being supported by victorious hand of God. And if the hand that holds you is victorious, then you too will win. She woke up before the alarm clock. The sun hadn't yet risen, but her heart was already agitated, as if something was wrong, even without explanation. Her name was Rachel, mother of 2 children, wife of a good man. She worked part-time at a school and took care of the house as best she could. But in the last few days, something inside her had crumbled. It wasn't something visible. It wasn't a concrete problem. It was a formless fear, an invisible anxiety, a constant feeling that something bad was about to happen. She got up slowly, went to the kitchen, put water on to boil, and leaned against the sink looking into space. It was as if the entire world was asleep, except her thoughts. There, with her arms crossed and her eyes teary, she let out an almost imperceptible whisper. "God, I can't take it anymore." The sentence came out before she even thought. It wasn't a pretty prayer. It was not a phrase of faith. It was a scream disguised as a sigh. She didn't want to alarm anyone. She didn't want her children to notice. She just wanted a sign. Something that said she wasn't alone in that silent suffocation. And it was then that her husband appeared at the kitchen door, barefoot with messy hair, looking like he didn't sleep well. He looked at her and said, "Rachel, I don't know why, but I just woke up with a very strong desire to pray for you." She was silent. I didn't know what to say. The water on the stove began to boil, but she didn't move. He just cried. He approached her, hugged her without asking anything, and prayed right there, a simple prayer but full of faith. "Lord, strengthen my wife. Help her remember that she's not alone, that you are with her. Hold her with your victorious right hand." Rachel cried like she hadn't cried in a long time, but in that cry, there was relief. It wasn't prayer that solved everything. It wasn't the hug that erased the anguish, but it was the exact reminder at the exact moment that God was listening. That phrase whispered in the kitchen wasn't thrown into the void, that the hand that sustains really sustains. That morning, Rachel didn't go out jumping for joy, but he left standing. It came out stronger. She left remembering that even when she feels weak, God does not abandon her. And that verse, which she had read so many times, now made sense. "Fear not, for I am with you. I will help you. I will hold you with my victorious right hand." Rachel went about her day more lightly, and at night, before going to sleep, she did something she hadn't done in weeks, prayed, alone in silence, with an open heart, because sometimes all we need is a reminder that the presence of God does not depend on our strength. She just needs a heart that says, "I can't take it anymore," and He takes care of the rest. Take a break in there, breathe a little, and think sincerely, what has taken first place in your heart? Because we can love God, but without realizing it, we start to put other things at the center. Things that look good, things that are even blessings. But when they take the place of God, they become burdens. Sometimes what comes first is fear. Other times it's control, or the desire to succeed, or the search for recognition, or the attempt to keep everything under control, so as not to fall apart again. We wake up thinking about solving problems, hurry to meet deadlines, worries about what will go wrong. And when you realize it, it's already night. And the soul spent the whole day away from the presence, not because we wanted to, but because he got lost along the way. And do you know what the problem is? It's just that the heart will always love something. If it's not God, it'll be something else. And what takes the center shapes everything. It shapes our thoughts, our decisions, our reactions. Therefore, today, God is calling you to look inside, calmly, with courage, and ask, who has reign in there? Sometimes it's tiredness, other times it's the need for approval, or that constant worry about tomorrow. But God didn't create you to live dominated by these things. He created you to live in freedom, with the heart anchored in presence, with a soul full of peace, even when the world is at war. And that starts when you decide to hand over the center again. Hand over first place, that higher position, that sacred space that only God can occupy. This does not mean abandoning everything, means organize everything around God. Work, he continues. Dreams, they follow. Problems, they will appear. But when God is at the center, everything aligns. You pray before you decide. You trust before you control. You breathe before reacting. You rest before you exhaust yourself. Because God doesn't just want to be remembered every now and then. He wants to walk with you. in the middle of the routine, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of real life. And do you know what the best of it is? It's just that when God occupies the center, even what seemed unsolvable begins to change. Not because the problems disappear, but why you change. The perspective changes. At a calm time, faith grows, and suddenly you're no longer fighting alone. You are being guided, careful, sustained. So today, you don't need to make grandiose promises. You don't need to blame yourself for what you didn't do. You only make one choice. It puts God back at the center, in the center of the mind, in the center of the heart, at the center of decisions, and let Him show you what really matters. Anxiety is a silent thief. It arrives slowly when you still think everything is under control. It disguises itself as planning, responsibility, healthy concern. But little by little, it consumes peace. It makes everything heavier, more urgent, more tense. You wake up and already feel like you're late. You have a to-do list in your head before you even brush your teeth. You try to predict everything, avoid any mistakes, control every detail, because deep down, you're afraid that something won't go as expected. This search for security, for organization, for absolute control seems prudent. But in reality, it is exhausting because the world doesn't fit into our planning. Life does not respond to our control. And this is where anxiety feeds, of the illusion that if you try hard enough, nothing will go wrong. But that's not true. Things fall out of place, plans change, people disappoint, doors close. And if your peace is based on all of this, she collapses. We learn from an early age to build security in external things, at work, in salary, in health, in the relationship, in emotional stability. But all of this is temporary. All of this can change. And when it changes, the heart panics, because false security is not firm. She looks like it, but she isn't. And that's where the most liberating truth comes in. You don't need to control everything, because God is already in control. Isaiah 41:10 says, I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. This promise is exactly for those who are trying to hold the world in their own hands. Are you tired? Maybe it's because you're trying to carry what God never asked you to carry. Maybe you're trying to be strong where God just wants you to be sincere. Maybe you're trying to predict tomorrow when God is just calling you to trust in today. God does not want you to live dominated by anxiety. He wants to teach you to live lightly, trusting, guided by faith, not fear. And that doesn't mean ignoring the problems, means hand over control. To say, God, I did what I could, now it's up to you. God, I have no answers, but I trust yours. God, I'm tired, but I know that you strengthen me. When you start living like this, something changes, not on the outside, but inside. It disarms the soul. The mind slows down. The heart begins to breathe again, because true rest is not the absence of problems and presence of God. And where God is, there is peace, even in the middle of the storm. Remember Peter when he walked on the water? As he looked at Jesus, he walked. But when he looked at the wind, at the chaos, at the unpredictable, he began to sink. This is what anxiety is. Take your eyes off Jesus and focus on what could go wrong. And the more you fixate on it, the deeper you sink. But when you look back, when you scream, Lord, save me, He extends His hand, always extends. This is what Isaiah 41:10 promises, a hand outstretched in the midst of fear, a real help in the midst of confusion. God is not just a spiritual consolation, He is a practical help. He opens doors, relieves weight, brings answers, drive with love. And if you are listening to this prayer today, it's because He wants you to let go of control. Not because you are irresponsible, but why you were not born to carry the world. You were born to trust, to walk hand in hand with the Father, to rest in the certainty that He is already there in front, solving what you don't even understand yet. Then breathe in truth. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel this moment. Feel God telling you, son, daughter, I'm here. I help. I hold. I care. You don't need to strain now. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to control everything. You just need to trust. Anxiety screams, but God whispers, and his whisper is always stronger than the noise of the world. Seek the kingdom first. It's not about isolating yourself from the world, not even about becoming an overly religious person, disconnected from reality. It's not about carrying the Bible under your arm all day, not even looking spiritual all the time. Seeking the kingdom is another thing. It's simpler and deeper. It's about inner positioning. It's about invisible decision made inside the heart. It's about choosing what will govern your life. Seeking the kingdom means deciding who do you listen to first. Who do you consult before making decisions? Who do you invite to walk with you every day? It's about where you anchor your peace and where do you get your strength from. Seeking the kingdom means putting God at the center, before the rush, before the opinions of others, before your own will. It is putting the presence of God above the agenda, above the anxiety, above control. Seeking the kingdom is waking up and saying, Lord, take care of this day. Show me where to step. Talk to me between the lines of life. Protect me from the rush and guide me with your lightness. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to live praying all the time, nor memorize chapters of the Bible. Seeking the kingdom is much more about remembering than about doing. It's remembering that God is there, in the kitchen, in line at the bank, in the silence of the car, in the tired look in front of the mirror. It's remembering to include God in your inner conversation, when in doubt, waiting, in anguish, in gratitude. Seeking the kingdom is practicing presence. It is walking with God in silence. Stop for 5 minutes and take a deep breath, knowing that the Creator is there, ready to listen. Even if you don't say anything, it's trusting more, control less, deliver with sincerity, listen sensitively. Seeking the kingdom is obeying, even when it doesn't make sense, even when the urge is to run in the opposite direction, even when it hurts. It is to stop negotiating with the voice of God and start aligning yourself with it. Seeking the kingdom means changing the order of priorities. It's about stopping living around fear and start living around faith. It's like this. First, God. Second, the rest. It's not about ignoring problems. Don't even pretend you're not afraid. It's about deciding that nothing will take the place that belongs to God. Not the money, nor the career, nor success, not even insecurity, not the trauma, not the culpa, not even lack. Seeking the kingdom is putting God first, in front of the plans, in front of the words, in front of the rush, in front of the impulses. It is to say, Sir, help me listen to you before responding. Help me follow you before I act. Help me feel you before reacting. You can seek the kingdom anywhere, in your room, at work, in the bath, in pain. You can seek the kingdom with a broken soul, with weak faith, with my heart in pieces. God does not require beauty to accept prayer. He only asks for truth. Seeking the kingdom means stopping hiding. It's stopping presenting a strong version of yourself to God. It's arriving as is, and let Him transform. And do you know what happens when He becomes the center? Everything changes. Haste becomes peace. Doubt becomes direction. Fear becomes confidence. Loneliness becomes presence. And the chaos, it still exists, but it no longer dominates. Because now, the throne of your heart has a king. And this king rules with love, truly, firmly. Seeking the kingdom first is living an aligned life where everything around can change, but you stand firm. Because it is anchored in what is eternal. It's opening your eyes in the morning and saying, God, I don't know what that day will be like, but I know who walks with me in it, and that's enough. If this prayer has spoken to you so far, if at any point your heart sank, if a tear tried to fall or actually fell, So this was no coincidence. You have been touched because God is calling you back to the center, and He's using simple words like seeds thrown into fertile soil. Now I want to invite you to do something small, but full of intention. Write this sentence in the comments. Today I put God at the center of my life. You don't need to write anything else, just that. Because when you write this, you declare, you testify, you plant faith within yourself, and more than that, you show it to others who are also trying to come back. You become part of this network of people who are tired of living on automatic, and they want to look for something deeper, something real, something eternal. Maybe you've never commented on a video, perhaps you are listening silently, without strength. But today, just for today, write. Even if it's silent in your room, even if no one sees, even if the day is heavy, if this prayer reached you, don't let this pass. He writes, today I put God at the center of my life. And if you want, come back here tomorrow. There's more. There's new food. It has a word. Be careful. We are building a sacred routine, a new habit to wake up with God. And this could be your first step. God, today I approach the Lord without masks, no rush, no excuses. I approach it the way I am, with a messy heart, with confused thoughts, with tired faith, but still alive. Listen to me, Father, even if words fail, even if the voice fails, even if only silence speaks for me. The Lord knows my ways, know my struggles, my internal battles, the ones that no one sees, the ones that no one understands. I've been trying to be strong. I've been trying to smile. I've been trying to load everything. But the truth is, I'm tired. I need your touch today. I need your real presence. I need relief for this burdened soul. It helps me let go of what I can't control. Help me deliver what I insist on holding. It helps me trust what I don't yet understand. It reminds me that the Lord is with me. Even when everything seems dark, even when I don't see a way out, even when I don't feel anything. The Lord promised to strengthen me, so strengthen me now, from the inside out, invisibly, but real. Help me walk without fear. It helps me breathe calmly. It helps me rest even in the midst of chaos. I place it in your hands, my concerns, my fears, my pains, my doubts, all. Dear God, take what is heavy, take what is confused, take what's hurting. I don't want to carry it alone anymore. I no longer need to pretend that I can achieve everything. Today, I surrender. In truth, no reservations. I place you at the center, Lord, in the center of my mind, at the center of my day, at the center of my choices. Guide me, protects me, it sustains me. And when fear comes, reminds me that the Lord promised, I will be with you. I will help you. I will hold you with my victorious right hand. Let me feel that hand now. Let me feel your care. Let me realize your love, even in silence. Take care of me. Take care of my house. Take care of my soul. And if I try to get back in control, reminds me fondly, you are not the one who sustains everything. It is me. Well, teach me to depend on you again, trusting like a child, walking by faith, resting at your pace. I don't want to run ahead anymore, not to be left behind. I want to walk with you, step by step, day after day. Give me discernment to do what is right, wisdom not to act on impulse, firmness to say no when necessary, sensitivity to hear your voice in the midst of the noise. Give me peace, not the peace of the world, but the peace that comes from heaven, this peace that does not depend on circumstances, this peace that calms the heart, even without explanation. Thanks for listening to me. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thanks for staying here, even when I don't realize it. I am yours, and today, once again, I surrender. In the name of Jesus, Amen. Now, you don't need to say anything, just breathe. Very slowly, very aware. Take your breath in calmly. Hold on a little and release slowly. Again, take the air. Sure, let go. Let the body relax. Let your heart slow down. Let the soul hear what only silence reveals. At this point, there is no rush, there is no charge, just presence. The background music is not here by chance. She is reminding you that there is a lighter rhythm, slower, deeper, and it is in this rhythm that God speaks. Sometimes he doesn't respond with words, but with peace, lightly, with a presence that embraces you from within. Stay in that silence for a few seconds. Breathe once more. Sit down. Feel that you are not alone. Feel that God sees you, listen to you, and it remains. There is nothing you need to do now. Just be. Being a son, being a daughter, be loved. Let this silence seal the prayer you prayed, like someone who closes a letter carefully, knowing that she has already reached her destination. Now, I want you to talk along with me. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how you're feeling. It doesn't matter if you believe a lot or almost nothing. Talk anyway, with your mouth or with the soul, but speak. Because when you speak with faith, the spiritual world moves, the mind aligns, and the heart begins to remember who you are. So let's declare together, I am loved by God. This love has no end. This love does not change. This love does not depend on what I do. That love remains. I am seen by God, even when no one notices me. Even when I feel forgotten, he sees me. He sees me inside, and he cares about me. I am known, not because of what I show to others, but for who I really am. And yet, I am chosen. I am son. I am a daughter, and no one can take that away from me. I am not defined by my mistakes, or my past, by the opinion of others, by fear, because of insecurity. I am what God says I am, and God calls me precious, strong, loved, cured, renovated, valuable. Today, I put God at the center of my life, above the fears, above the plans, above the distractions. First God, second the rest. I declare that my faith will grow, even on difficult days, even when nothing makes sense, even when the sky seems closed. I declare that God is strengthening me now. He helps me, he sustains me, he guides me. Even when I don't understand, I trust. Even when everything seems confusing, I rest. Even when anxiety tries to return, I choose to breathe and remember that God is with me. Repeat after me. Fear no longer rules me. Doubt no longer has the last word. Sadness does not define who I am. I am filled with the peace of God, and this peace guards my heart. This peace protects my mind. This peace calms me, even in the middle of the storm. I declare that the Holy Spirit dwells in me. It inspires me. It consoles me. Renew me. I declare that I am not alone, never been. I never will be. God has always been here, even when I didn't realize it, even when I walked away, even when I doubted. He continued, loving me, waiting for me, supporting me. And today, I'll be back, Face Pro Center. I return to the presence. I return to grace. I declare that I am free, free from guilt, free from condemnation, free from what they tried to put on me. I declare that nothing can separate me from the love of God. Not the past, not the present, not the future, not even the words I heard, not even the traumas I experienced, nothing, because God's love is stronger, higher, deeper, more true. I declare that God's promises still stand, even if they seem distant, even if they seem forgotten. God does not forget what he promised. He is faithful. He is constant. He does everything on time. And until that time arrives, I hope. But I don't wait still. I hope I love it. I hope trusting. I wait praying. Repeat after me with more force. My life is in God's hands. My dreams are in God's hands. My decisions in God's hands. He opens doors, it closes too, and I accept because I trust, because I rest, because I know that he knows what is best for me. I declare that my mind will align with heaven, that my thoughts will be full of truth, full of light, full of hope. I declare that my mouth will speak more faith, more gratitude, more encouragement, more life. I declare that my attitudes will reveal who lives in me, and the one who lives in me is Jesus. I declare that I am a new creature. The old things are gone, and everything became new. New time, new breath, new direction, new peace. I declare that grace covers me, mercy renews me, and love accompanies me every day. God is with me, and if He is, I don't need to fear. I declare that I walk by faith, not from what I see, not from what I hear, but for what I believe. And I believe that God is doing something now. Even if I don't feel it, even if I don't see it, He is acting. That's why I declare that I will continue with courage, lightly, with faith, because the journey is long, but the promise is certain, and who promised is faithful to fulfill. Amen. If you made it this far, I want to thank you in truth for allowing this prayer to enter your heart, for being open, for not giving up listening until the end. This is already a sign that there is life within you, faith within you, desire to remain, even when everything screams to escape. Today, God saw you, heard you, it touched you, and even if you didn't feel anything special, even if you cried in silence or just listened in silence, the seed was planted, and God honors seeds. Maybe you don't see the fruits yet, but the ground has already started to change. Something inside you is being remade, calmly, lightly, with presence. So now breathe. Close your eyes for a moment and keep this truth. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. God is with you. God remains with you, and He will continue every morning, at every step, with every silence. And if this prayer spoke to you, I want to ask you something simple. Share with someone who may be experiencing the same pain, the same doubt, the same weight. There are a lot of people who need a word like that, from a safe place, a moment with God. No rush, no pressure. And if you want to walk with us, subscribe to the channel, activate the reminder, come back tomorrow, there's more. Here is a refuge, a table set before the sun rises, a place of prayer, of respite, meeting. You are welcome, always. Now, go live your day lightly, with faith, with purpose. God be with you. And until the next prayer,